Hey, it is Wellness Wednesday. Let's get it rocking. Let's get going. I am super excited to be here with you to discuss everything wellness. Well, who am I? My name is Camille Jones, and I am the founder of We Got This Mind and Body, where I encourage your busy woman in business to truly find time to prioritize living a healthier lifestyle, targeting key areas of wellness, such as that mindset, the movement, metabolism, and maintenance. And it's all about regaining that energy, confidence, and proving to yourself that you have the time to build on yourself. And we can do this together. I presently have an amazing spring fling program coming to you. It's all about the 90 days of loving the skin that you are in challenge. It is commencing in April, but registration is now open because I'm all about those action takers and proving to yourself that procrastination is a thing of the past. You're going to commit to building on yourself. And the best way to commit is to reserve your spot in my program that is coming up. It is a limited spot, very, very, very limited, because this is going to be an intimate, fun experience for us all. And we want to make sure that we're doing it in a nice, tight community. So definitely connect and reserve your spot. For the first 8 people to reserve their spot, you get additional savings and even more bonuses. So there is power in taking action. The link to this amazing challenge is in the comments, as well as you'll find it on my profile, because it's all about taking that action and getting that wellness plan going. I know a lot of us don't even understand what wellness is and why we need it. Well, let me tell you something. The same way a car that's not a Tesla needs gas, but you know what? Even a Tesla needs to be recharged. So do we. We are so strong at everything that we do. We are committed to our careers, to our families, to our relationships, and everything else in between. And sometimes our own needs get put to the wayside, not intentionally, but because we get so caught up with the distractions of the world and the things that we have before our hands. But when we have a wellness plan in place that is incorporated into your lifestyle, and it is all aligned with the things that are interest to you and that are easy to achieve, you will do it. And you will see, through taking the time to build on your wellness, not only are you looking better on the outside, but you're feeling even greater on the inside, because wellness truly starts from the inside out. Yes, when we talk about the wellness, the first thing we think about is, fitness or eating kale chips or something like that. But in actuality, it's a whole holistic loop, as I always like to call it. There's different levels of wellness that we want to make sure that we have in our lifestyle so that we can create lasting habits. And of course, when we create a wellness plan that is great with us, everything else with us in terms of our inside and outside start to align. So that's what a wellness plan is all about. Today, what we are going to be talking about is about labels and understanding that, debunking some truths about weight loss. So I love to talk about this conversation because, again, so many of us women, we're really motivated by the external, by the physical looks when we walk past the mirror, especially when we get over the age of 40, and we have to take into consideration our hormones as well as our stress levels and everything else in between, and feeling like as if we cannot keep up with the fitness Joneses because of our age, when in actuality, we really need to get into our wellness. Because as we get older, it's not just about the physical. We're not just trying to get that physical look, but we're also wanting that great inner feeling. As we get older, that feeling, we want to really feel that peace, that feeling of energy, the feeling that we have that we could still get going and get moving and not feeling that lack or that slack or the hormones that are getting into us as we get older, And of course, making sure that we are working into our body all the time, even with that physical, so that we can rebuild and regain and sustain the muscles as we get older. So it's very important for us to look at all areas of wellness: mindset, movement, metabolism, and of course, building up lasting habits through maintenance. Today, let's talk about these labels. So, what am I talking about labels? I'm talking about the food labels that you see in the grocery store. If you're rocking with me, would love to see some engagement into the chats. Let's get this conversation flowing and going. Let's get the conversation in the chats too as well. Now, food labels. How many of you have heard about we should be reading the labels on everything that we eat to make sure that, the calorie counts there and everything else in between? Yes, we hear it all the time. Check the labels, read the labels, read the labels. But I challenge that. What I mean by that is, yes, we should definitely read the labels so we could see what the calorie counts are and sodium and everything else in between there. But we must take it one step further and look at the ingredients as well. Now, the reason why we have to look at the ingredients is because not everything is created the same. And because we live in such a high processed food era, we want to ensure that the food that we are consuming are as natural as possible, whole foods as possible, because our body recognizes real foods. It recognizes foods that it could pull fiber from, it could pull nutrients from, everything to build up that cell repair, give us the energy, especially help us with our digestive system. But when we eat processed foods or foods with, mysterious ingredients in it, our body's like, what is this? What do we do with it? I don't know what to do with it. So let's either store it in the fat or maybe in one of our organs like the liver. We just don't know what to do with it. And that's how we end up starting to, build up excess fat. It's from even what we're eating and the fact that our body doesn't know what to do with it. And we're feeding the wrong bacteria in our body. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about how I say that labels are not created the same. I love this example. So my loving husband, he thought he was being proactive with his breakfast intake by getting oats. I was like, oh, awesome. You got oats. Yes. Very good for you, brother. Good for you, brother. But then I saw, that he brought home a package. So I looked at the package and I was like, he's like, yeah, these ones, it's regular. So there's no sugar in it. So it should be good. Right. And it's convenient. I could just pack it with my lunch and I could take it on the go. I was like, right there. Just showed me warning signs. Why is this a warning sign? Because this is fast, right? Anything that's fast is somewhat processed. So he looked at the regular. I was like, okay, good, great stuff, Chris. And then I was like, oh, but I'm all about this one. He's like, oh, who cares? It's the same thing. Look at the labels. So we looked at the labels together. With his, yes, the labels do show that it's 100 calories. It has very low. No, it has about 3 grams of fiber. Okay, it's decent. No sugar. Awesome. So, he thought he was doing good. I looked at mine, and mine was very similar to his as well. So he's like, you see, I told you everything is great. It is fine. So why are we talking about that? We need to go any deeper and mine isn't better than yours. So I was like, okay, honey, let's look at the ingredients. So in mine, the ingredients is organic rolled oats and may contain wheat. Period. With a T, it's done. That was all that was on there. Okay, that was it. So now let's look at good old hubbies. The ingredients. We have whole grain oats, whole grain oat flour, calcium carbonate, salt, gar gum, vitamins and minerals, ferritic osphiofolate, nicomidine, thiamine, monosaccharate, calcium pathanate, pyridox, hydrochloride, and color. Also may contain wheat. So you see, even though this says regular, even though it's all natural, it still has so much extras in it, right? So we want to also make sure that we're looking at the labels. And the reason why we want to do that too is because Our bodies are it attracts what it eats, right? It doesn't, if it's not something that it likes or it doesn't resonate with, it does come out as an allergy, or it may come out as a different type of reaction. So we want to make sure that the foods that we're eating are as natural as possible. And definitely, let's continue to look at the labels as well as the ingredients. And a rule of thumb that I always say when you're going grocery shopping, focus your grocery shopping on the exterior parts of the grocery store, not interior, not down those aisles, because most of the time the things that are in the aisles are processed food. We want to really work on the external to get all that whole foods in. And if you would love some more information on how you could get your veggies and fruits in less than 1 minute, you definitely want to connect with me, because I'm all about whole food, natural, but I also am about the convenience, but it has to be natural, not processed, and also be a filler. Does not cancel out a good diet. Now, let's talk about that. Let's get to some truths about weight loss. All right. So the first truth, and the reason why I'm not saying myths, everyone always goes myths. Let's not focus on the myths. Let's focus on the truth, because another part of wellness is where we put our attention to and our energy to. That's what we get back. So I am very intentional with my words. I'm very intentional with what I share, and let's share it in a positive way so that we could continue to feel the essence of us elevating to that next level. So the first truth is there is no one size fits all when it comes to the way we eat. So each body is different, and what works for me may not work for another. Our nutrients needs are different, and we may have different reactions to foods. So we can't say, that those pills, those magic diet pills, or sticking to one type of diet, or even intermittent fasting is the solution. You can't, because everybody's very different. For example, my husband cannot intermittent fast because his diet, what he has, it requires him to eat in small increments throughout the day. He cannot fast. Right? And then there's other individuals who, my mother, she tried the keto, but it wasn't good for her. Right? So we have to look at what is good for you, what your body needs in terms of nutrition, and really know that there is no magic pill. There's no magic diet. It is all about adjusting your diet to what your individual body needs in terms of the nutrients and to elevate. Food is to nourish our bodies. It's not to get over full and glutton. But us humans, as we've progressed in this thing called life in this world, we've really taken advantage of food as being more of a thing that we're consuming for glutton, as opposed to something that nourishes and uplifts our bodies. But we should also make sure we love it too, right? So we have to remember that there's not one size fits all. So let's stop comparing ourselves to each other and other diets or other people's successes, and focus on our own selves. Focus on the things that we need for our body. Focus on our goals. Get a clear vision and stay committed to your action taking. The second truth is you cannot out-train a bad diet, period. So I know so many people will be like, I'm going to eat all crazy and I'll just go to the gym on Monday. No. What we put in our body it trumps the work that we do on the exterior of our body. It really does, because we need to make sure that we're nourishing our body with the right foods so that we can, have our digestive system going. A lot of us women are lacking on fiber. That's a huge part, fiber and magnesium. And without fiber, our digestive system is saying, why? We need help. Fiber helps our system, clean out its intestines and get rid of any toxicity. So we need to have that fiber in our body and in our system. And we could get natural fiber from our veggies and our fruits, but a lot of them from our veggies. So we want to make sure that we are getting adequate things that we need so our system overall works well and together. We also need the food to give us the energy. So many people want to cut off macros and completely take them out, but we still need certain macros in our system. Like we need the carbs for the energy. We need the protein for that muscle recovery so we could get those amino acids as well. We need the fat, the good fats for brain development. So let's not be stingy with the macros. Let's understand it for our own body types, our own body shapes. And the best way to do that is to connect with me and be with a professional that can better guide you and support you and create that plan that is unique for you. All right. So when it comes to, again, the not outdoing a bad diet, just think of it as a pyramid, right? Let's look at a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, that's the exercise. Right below the pyramid is your genetics. Yes, there's certain things that do fall into our family. When I say certain things, don't say this runs in my family. I'm talking more so of body structure, right? Like some people, the family, just like me, our family, we have juicy booties. Always, right? We can be skinny with that nice booty, big with that booty. And so that's our genetics. So that comes below our exercise at the tip of the pyramid. The second one is stress. The third one, I should say, below genetics is stress. Stress has a huge impact on our overall wellness. When we have stress in our body, which is the cortisol hormone, nothing takes place. You cannot digest with cortisol, have high cortisols in it. You can't think with high cortisol in it. So we need to remove that stress. And the bottom, which is really the base of the pyramid, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Put it in the comments. What do you think it is? Diet. It is our diet. Our diet is the foundation to our wellness. Our diet is what we get in terms of nourishments, minerals, what gives us the energy, what has the cell repair. But if we are eating a diet that's heavy of processed food, of food that doesn't nourish our bodies, and we are also not bridging the gap with some form of supplements, because we do still need some form of supplements in our systems to allow our body to better regenerate and work in harmony, because our body yearns for what's called homeostasis. I know I'm butchering it, but love me, people. Just love me, okay? And what that is basically is our body is looking for complete balance and alignment with all of its body functions. We want harmony. We want that balance, that stability, so that we can flourish mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. We do really need to have that. It's a balance amongst all of our systems. So we need to understand 90% of our nutrition and what brings us fuel comes from food. So remember, truth number 2, you cannot outtrain a bad diet. Truth number 3, all calories are not created equal. What does that mean? Well, are we eating calories that are nourishing our body? Are we just eating empty calories or drinking empty calories? Think about it. How many times have we added to our calorie count for the day through a drink? What about that alcohol? Did you guys know that there is absolutely zero nutrition in liquor? None. Lots of calories though. Lots and lots and lots of calories. We also need to understand that when we're eating food that's in combination, the calories that we thought based on the product can change how it's prepared and what it's paired with. And that's why we also need to look at our portion sizes, because that, again, will change the calories, right? So let's think about that. Truth number 4, want to lose weight? Well, don't just drop calories, build up on that muscle strength. So that what it's basically saying is strength training is key. Strength training not only builds lean muscle, but it also builds up strength. It burns greater calories, which we call afterburn, even hours after you've worked out. And it builds up that muscle regeneration. Especially as we get older, we want to make sure that we're still working on our muscles, because our muscles do go down, and we want to better support our organs, our joints. And the best way to do that is through building your muscles. And as I always say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And trust me when I tell you, you will not turn into some big bodybuilder doing strength training, because in order to do that, you have to have a huge, completely different diet, as well as a whole regime of different types of supplements and everything else in between. Can't create that naturally, people. So get those strength training in. And the fifth truth is skinny doesn't equal healthy at all. So stop using those eyes that tell lies and say, oh, that person's healthy because she's a size 2. Means absolutely nothing at all. Where we need to be healthy is internally. There's so many people that are what we call skinny fat or fat skinny. And what that is basically they look one way, but internally it's completely the opposite. And if we are not optimal internally, we're still going to lose that energy. That confidence still won't be there. And the excuse of not having the time or not even feeling like you can even create the time, it lingers. All those limiting beliefs, everything else, everything that's negative will start to linger in you. And that's why we really need to stop focusing on what we see visually and really work internally and understand that the body keeps the score. So whatever the mind is going through, the body will receive and will respond. So if you are constantly having a mindset of sickness, whether you're skinny or not skinny, your body's going to be sick. If you have that lack of confidence, when you walk past that mirror, you're not going to see the same reflection that somebody else may see and say, what are you talking about? You're awesome. You're still going to say to yourself, no, I'm not. And it's because of that inner belief. So wellness is not just about the aesthetics. Yes, that's what draws us into these programs. It absolutely does. I'm guilty of it. We're human. We are very drawn by what we see visually. But when we truly understand the power of the different levels of wellness, and when we start incorporating them into our lifestyle, changing habits that no longer serve us and taking the actions to making the change that we want to become, that becoming, you're going to see your whole perspective of life, that resistance that you didn't know you had on yourself is going to break down. And you're going to see that the number one person that should be on your to-do list is you. Because when you are at optimal, when you're eating great food, remember, when you're eating great food, everyone's going to see. And, we are creatures by nature. I don't even, what I'm talking about. We are very habitual. We will follow a lot of what our surrounding is. So when our children see how we're eating, when our friends, family see that we are eating with intention, we're eating to nourish our bodies. Now, I'm not saying that, when somebody's having a birthday party, everybody's eating cake and you're in the corner eating kale chips. No, we still got to live. And I still love food. But it's about moderation. It's about understanding. It's about portion. And when I see a slice of cake, yeah, I may take a bite, but then that's where my mind goes and the thought I just think to myself, how is this really serving me? It tastes good right now, but is it serving me? Or is it pulling me back to where I was? And even if I do engage and partake in eating that cake, it's all about readjusting the rest of the plate. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with today when it comes to food is let's start highlighting our veggies on our plate. Most of the time when you go to not most of the time, all the time when you go to a restaurant, they'll say the highlight is always the meat or the protein. Let's start highlighting the veggies. You can still have your meats and proteins, but why we want to highlight the veggies is because veggies are our natural source of fiber, as well as it has low carbs, which is great for energy. So we want, and a big one too is it's one of the macros that we can eat in abundance, and we could fill up our stomach, our receptors, our full receptors in our stomach to feel fuller by eating more. It's called a volume method. When we eat more veggies, we are actually filling up our stomach greater with great food. And because it is the type of food that you're eating, those cravings are reduced, because cravings really derive from that feeling of you need more sugar, that pecky that I need that sugar rush. But when we remove the sugar, which is, even worse than heroin, trust me when I tell you that, way worse, we see a huge change in our overall body, not our mindset, the shape of our face. There's power in food. Food is medicine. Food is power. Food is our friend. So let's stop taking away things in these diets. Let's stop running to these quick fix pills, because you know what? That's all they are. Quick fixes. Quick fixes, you're trying to put some glue on something that should be nailed in. After a while, it's going to fall apart. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We are building lasting lifestyle habits. So, as I mentioned, commencing April, I will be doing my Spring Fling 90 Days to Loving the Skin That You Are In challenge. The registration is presently open right now because it is limited spots. I have to be limited. And I really wanted to start off early because anybody to me that is taking the action right now to sign up is proving to not only themselves, but to me that you are serious. You're serious about your wellness. You're serious about making these changes, and you are serious on your own self-worth. Now, I know you want some more information on what this amazing challenge is all about. Just click the link and you'll get all of the write-up of exactly what is entailed. This is going to be, I'm so excited. And for everybody that signs up early, not everybody, the top 8. 8 is my favorite number because 8 is great. It is infinite 8. It's constantly in motion. I would usually do 5, but 8 is what I'm doing because this is a Spring Fling, baby. You get additional savings and a special bonus because you are that action taker, but only for my first 8. So on the link there, you're going to see that there is a code that you can take advantage of getting that discount. But again, it's capped at only 8. And once that's done, that's it. But you could still register after that 8. But again, it pays to not be a procrastinator. My action takers, my first 8 are definitely going to get some additionals. And I want you to be a part of that first 8. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's commit to ourselves to learn more about who we are becoming on the inside out. Because when we learn about who we are becoming from the inside out, the outside is going to say thank you. And we're going to do the work. We're going to commit to doing the work. And when we do have that commitment, do the repetition and consistency and have that clear vision and understand that food is to be loved. Food is to be enjoyed and really understood. The sky's not the limit. And you're going to gain back that energy, that confidence, and that reassurance of who you are. And it starts with you taking that action, being around like-minded individuals, leveling up, getting that accountability, and proving that you have the time. You always have the time. We always find the time for the things that we want to strive and achieve. So why do we always put ourselves on the bottom of the list? We know that we are the greatest being for ourselves. We know that. That's why we're continuously striving and thriving in all different areas in life. Now it's time for us to focus internally so we can even reap the rewards of externally even greater. You're worth it. I'm super excited to be going through this with you. Let's get this Spring Fling going. Let's understand food better. Let's love the skin that we are in. Celebrate the process, right? There's progress in the process because when we celebrate the process and not focus on just the outcome, we could truly appreciate the achievement. And you know what? When we appreciate the achievement, that hunger to even do better grows. And as Sophia Bush says, you could be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. And that's what life is all about. We're constantly a work in progress, getting to that next level. But we have to truly celebrate that journey. Until next week, you're going to be rocking with me in this Wellness Wednesday. I love talking about everything wellness. It's not just about food. It's not just about fitness. It's not just about mindset. It is all about taking that action. It's all about understanding about the possibilities that are out there for you. And that self-awareness is key. So many of us, as I love the saying that Bob Proctor says, I'll probably say it, you'll probably hear me say it a lot of times, is that so many of us we can't escape a jail that we don't know that we're in. And so many of us are prisoners of our own mindsets and our own lack of motivation and action. Not today, not now. That's what we're saying. So connect with me. See you next week. Rocking with you on the Wellness Wednesdays. We got this mind and body page where it's all about elevating, celebrating, motivating, inspiring, and taking that action for that busy woman in business. Let's start putting us on the top of that to-do list and take the action and get it done. You got this. We got this. Now let's go. Have yourselves a glorious evening. See you.